What is up, guys? This is your boy Superior Simmer, and today I have some more information regarding The Sims. If you guys like news, updates, and discussions, please hit the sub button, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. I also do have an affiliate link with Instagaming to bring you guys cheaper games. If you guys click the right side of the screen or the link in the description, you guys will find a bunch of deals on different game titles. There's adventure games, RPGs, of course, life simulation, all for a cheaper discounted price. Again, link in the description or the right side of the screen. Without further ado, let's get into the bullshit. Okay, so there's been a lot of stuff going on in the Sims community. We also did get a statement from the Sims team themselves. But starting off, one of the biggest discussions I've seen circulating online is creators are leaving the Power Ranger program. This buyout has not only affected us players, content creators, but also the EA employees as well. There's a lot of unknowns happening right now. We don't even know if this deal is going to go through. It most likely will, but again, we don't know the foreseeable future of the Sims and just EA as a whole. A lot of people are very scared, especially if you are a content creator. It doesn't matter if you are big or small. This is impacting everybody, and it seems like some of the bigger content creators are taking a stand. Now, I could be wrong, but I think one of the first creators that said, hey, I'm going to cut ties with EA was Devin Bumpkin. He was the first person that I saw that said, hey, like, I don't want you guys using my EA creator code. This obviously wasn't an easy decision for him, and he did this because the path that EA is going down doesn't align with his values. And for people who don't know, when you're in the Power Ranger program, you get a lot of benefits like early access to new packs. Sometimes you get flown out with champagne and caviar. There's a lot of benefits being in this program. And again, you get packs for free. Like, these guys do not pay for packs. Now, James Turner also explained too, like, while he does still love The Sims, he doesn't feel right being financially connected to EA anymore through codes or sponsorships. Bella was another one who said she wants to keep making Sims content, but independently. She doesn't want her work tied to EA's business decisions. And obviously, Little Simsy has made it clear that she still plans to create Sims videos as well, but she's no longer taking part in the creator network. And she said for her, it's more about transparency and not wanting to promote something that she doesn't fully believe in anymore. Now, from what I remember with Devin, James, and Little Simsy, they've all mentioned that they want to incorporate different types of content on their channel. I know back in the day, I actually used to watch James' other channels. I don't know if it was called like Flabiki or Call Me Vicky, but I know he had a separate channel where he would just play like other games like City Skylines. I know Little Simsy also mentioned that she's been playing other games like Animal Crossing like on stream. So they want to incorporate different types of content while still playing Sims 4. I know Devin mentioned that if the deal goes through, he'll probably stop playing Sims and then like switch to Paralives. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe he's still going to do Sims content on the side while playing like Paralives, or maybe just like pivot entirely. But yeah, it seems like most of these guys are still going to be playing Sims, but they're also going to be incorporating other games that are very similar. Now, of course, with the Sims community, there's been a lot of controversy with some of these decisions because I feel like some people are looking at this as like, is this enough? Now, even though Devin Bumpkin was one of the first people to remove himself from the Power Ranger program, which again, I applaud him. I know a lot of people have been like hyping up Little Simsy, but again, he was the first one. I think he does deserve that recognition because again, he was one of the first people. Now, obviously, when like the other big creators like Little Simsy finally did this is obviously going to cause a ripple effect in the Power Ranger program. If someone like Little Simsy is stepping down, that is a very big deal. Like I said before, she's one of the big pillars in the community. Her voice matters. She's obviously leading by example. This is obviously going to influence a lot of other creators to want to do this as well. What's interesting was when I was making this video on Twitter, there was a user, I'm going to hide her name just because again, with everything going on, emotions are very high right now, and I don't want people to feel like they're being targeted, but I do want to like talk about this. There was a creator in their program who tweeted out basically in response to Little Simsy leaving the program, saying that I hope you're happy with what you've done. A lot of people have an economic income and live off being content creators. People who play Sims for fun because it helps with their mental health are being harassed and mistreated because of you and your group defending human rights that are only for you and your group, not for the rest of us who think differently from you. One of the biggest bullies I've ever known, and that's you. I hope this reaches you like karma. You're a bad person, an evil person, and you knew exactly what you were doing. And obviously, when this was tweeted, a lot of people are very confused by this creator. Like, why would you say these things? You know, Little Simsy hasn't like bullied anybody. She hasn't incited any hatred. So why would you say this? And the creator responded basically saying, it's simple, damn. There's no reading comprehension in either Spanish or English. Read the statement. It says not to bring hate to anyone. And the first thing they did was come to insult everyone who didn't do the same as her. And what's really interesting, like with the post from Little Simsy, she even says like, hey, don't like harass people for not wanting to leave the creator network. Like, that was one thing we talked about in the creator space the other day. Again, I'm not gonna name names, but I know someone mentioned like, hey, I used to buy packs all the time and I don't want to do that anymore. So if I can be in this program and get them for free, like, I'm gonna take advantage of that. But again, there's so many different sides to this. There's so many different perspectives. This situation, I have to say it again, is not black and white. And in this post, Little Simsy does say like, not everyone has the luxury to make this decision. She will obviously be okay but other people, especially smaller creators, might not be able to make that choice. So it's very interesting to see that creators say that on Twitter, because it didn't look like Little Simzy was saying like, oh, if you don't leave the creator network, you're a terrible person and you are like part of the problem. Like, Little Simzy understands that not everyone can leave. And again, I keep saying this, but like, it's not fair to compare smaller creators to bigger creators. Even if a smaller creator, for example, who is part of the program ends up leaving and they don't have a big income, like they're not making a lot of money from like people using their creator codes, but they still leave, yeah, that's good on them for sure. But maybe like creator B, who also is in the same situation, can't leave because that is their only source of income. We don't know if they have a disability. We don't know if like YouTube is the only way for them to make money. We don't know what's going on in people's lives. It's not fair to just assume things. It's very easy to kind of just like point fingers and say all these things without really knowing the full story. And like, again, the whole takeaway from this, I have to say it again, is that we have to respect people's decisions on what they do. It's nobody's business what people decide to do in this situation. If you don't want to support something that they're doing, you have the right to not want to support someone if you feel like it doesn't align with your views. But to like, again, the bullying, the harassment, it just adds more fuel to the fire, bro. And it's not fair because we don't know what's going on in people's personal lives. And that was one of the big reasons why I made that video. I definitely could have handled the situation better for sure. I feel like I did contribute in a lot of ways to like the hate and stuff, just by proving points, and like I can take responsibility for that. And I did apologize. This was one of the reasons why I made the video, because of stuff like this. It's so easy to point fingers, bro. And it's really not black and white at all. I was in a creator space the other day hosted by Simguru, the Wig Bender, and King Black Cinema. I'll leave their links to their YouTubes in the description. And it was a very fun, cool space to be in, because I got to listen to other simmers, you know, talk about the deal and like their perspectives on it. Because again, everyone has different perspectives on this. Again, this situation is not black and white, guys. Like, this is a very complicated situation. I think in general, like, The Sims is an inclusive game, and obviously the new owners of EA don't align with that. So it just makes sense for people who've built that platform with a game like this to not want to support something like that. There is a lot of ways you can push for change without entirely just stop playing the game, right? One thing I've been really pushing for is like obviously not buying packs. I've always said like, if you're gonna buy packs, like obviously buy them off Instant Gaming, because you know EA doesn't get the money, but also just because the packs aren't even worth $40. And even like recently with the new Adventure Awaits pack, which again is broken, surprise surprise, I was telling people before the release like not to buy the pack because we already knew that it was gonna be broken. And it's just the principle of it, right? Even before we found out about the buyout, like the game is in a broken state, so it doesn't really make sense to keep buying products for a broken game, because it does send a message that like, oh, we don't care if the game is broken, we're still going to continue buying packs. And I don't agree with that. I don't think people should be buying packs, not even just because of the buyout, like that is a big part of it, but just because again the game is broken. I think also promoting new packs could also be very problematic. I think there's a lot of different ways where people can push for change, because again, everyone's situation is different. For me personally, and I love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on this, again, like my whole thing when I made my previous video was the fact that like I disagree with the whole like continue to make Sims content, you are performative. Like I don't believe in that, especially if you're telling people not to buy packs. It's very interesting that I've seen a lot of people, like some people who say they disagree. I've seen people say that they're still going to be playing the past games like Sims 3, Sims 2, Sims, which to me like is very confusing. This makes no sense. Those games are not dead games. I've seen a lot of people like say that, and it's like that's not true at all. All these games have received updates. If anything, the Sims 1 and Sims 2 got re-released this year, so technically speaking, even though they're old games, they're technically new games, and people are still buying Sims 3 packs till this day. I feel like if we're gonna boycott, which again, if people want to do that, they should. Like I'm not against that at all. I think if you're gonna boycott everything Sims related, then you should be boycotting all the other Sims games. But I also think people need to understand too is like what the Sims represents and what it means to players. And I was in that space the other night, you know, not just also talking about the buyout, but like why people play the game. It was really cool to hear people's like reasons for playing. Obviously not everyone who like uploads content, or people are just posting for fun. Some people play the Sims because it's very therapeutic. Besides obviously doing videos, like that's why I play the Sims. And I think the biggest thing is the fact that people use this as an escape from reality, and a lot of people play the game just to escape, bro. Like I know some people just use the Sims to make machinimas, and like the Sims is a great tool to use that. And I say this because it sucks that like there are people out there who just want to like play Sims and just upload their stuff and see if people like it, or they want to just use it as a tool to create their stories, and they could face a lot of harassment and bullying. And I think that's where this becomes problematic, because I've been seeing a lot of that, and I've seen a lot of people trying to push creators to like play other games. It is very hard for people to switch niches, especially if it's not in the same simulation simulation slash like cozy genre, it's not impossible at all, but it's very hard, especially if you are a smaller creator. Again, I think it's just time too. I think a lot of people, I don't know, the saying like jump the gun way too quickly when it came to people like diversifying their content, which again, as a creator, people need time to pivot and start making other content. You can't just switch and start uploading content right away. Like I feel like people need that grace period to kind of like think of how they're going to, you know, switch their content. And again, the deal hasn't even gone through yet. We don't even know if the deal is going to go through. It most likely will, but again, I think people need to understand that this stuff takes time. It's not something that's just going to happen right away. But yeah, it's safe to say that even with a lot of these bigger creators leaving the Power Ranger program, there are some people who are still not happy and satisfied with that. Like, people just want these guys to completely stop playing the game. And I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on that. Like, for example, if these creators aren't promoting new packs, but they're still obviously, you know, making Sims content, not part of the program, is that enough? Do you guys feel like that is enough? Now, lastly, what's really interesting about this whole entire situation is the Sims team posted this message. They said, "Thank you for being part of the Sims community. So we're continually inspired by our incredible players and creators, by your imagination, creativity, and the joy you bring to the Sims every day. We deeply respect that everyone experiences the Sims in their own way, but will make choices that are right for them. However you choose to play, create, or share, we're grateful to be a part of your journey. Our mission and values and commitment remain the same. The Sims will always be a space where you can express your authentic self. Your passion and voices have shaped the exciting things we have coming in 2026 and beyond. November 4th, there will be a big update coming to Sims 4 that includes 150 plus fixes and fresh freebies. More details to come on Monday, October 27th. This is the first of ongoing updates that address the things that matter most to you. With gratitude, the Sims team." Now, this message has received a lot of controversy because the bigger creators are leaving. I've seen there was one message, shout out to Samir. She said, "Once the sale closes, says you will not have any control over the values and commitment to remain the same. We have 9 months left. Fingers crossed you don't sell." I think that's a very big thing as well. A lot of people don't know. Like, I think that's the biggest thing, is like, we don't know what's gonna happen once this sale goes through, if it does. Again, there's another response by Life of Sims, who says, "The Sims was my first game and the game that marked my childhood. So I will continue to be with this franchise as long as the values of the game don't change." I think that's a big thing as well. And I would love to know, again, your guys' thoughts on this. If for the foreseeable future the deal goes through, but the game itself doesn't change, like, it's obviously going to be focused on trying to give us quote unquote diversity and better representation for all Simmers, will you guys still play the game as long as nothing changes if this deal goes through? I would love to know your guys' thoughts on that. Even this one tweet here by Libby, who says, "How can you claim that your mission, values, and commitment will remain the same when your parent company is selling to people who do not value inclusivity?" I don't know why I can't say it. Freedom of expression, etc. Listen to your community, your consumers. And it's fair. My heart goes out to the Sims team. They are struggling too, but I feel like this might be also just kind of like a PR thing, because it's like they don't have control of what happens with this game, right? As messed up as it sounds, I feel like they're kind of just like a tool, you know, kind of just being used in this big machine, and they don't really have that much control over what happens. They can try to obviously push for things, but at the end of the day, it's not up to them. So I feel like right now this statement to me doesn't really hold any weight, and I don't even think they know what's gonna happen with this game. My heart goes out to everybody who's obviously being affected by this. The biggest takeaway from this entire thing is that we need to respect people's decisions on what they do. We should not be targeting people, bullying people. And if you don't want to support this game, you don't have to. Do not let anyone tell you that you should or shouldn't support this. It is your right to do whatever is best for you and nobody else. We should be able to have discussions about this and look at it from different perspectives, be able to agree to disagree if we can agree. I definitely will keep you guys updated on what's going on with The Sims. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a good day. Please take care, and I will see you in the next one.